What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome back to the Divine Feminist. My name is Alicia. Let's go ahead and find out what we're reading on today. I have a bunch of channeled titles here, and yeah, let's just see what Spirit wants us to read on. I'm super pumped. Okay, I think this is the one. This is the one. You're not stuck. You're in the cocoon. I love this vibe. I absolutely love this vibe so much. And we'll talk a little bit more when I come back after cleaning all this up. We'll talk more about this. Okay, yay. Okay, besties, the reason why I absolutely love this title is because oftentimes when we are going through some changes or we've just come off of, maybe we're closing some old doors, we're wanting to realign with something that is more meaningful, or we're looking to start a new chapter, or we're maybe even taking like a quantum leap into a new timeline, right? Sometimes it can feel like nothing is happening and that things are stuck, right? But what this is, the cocoon phase, obviously we link it to the life cycle of a butterfly, right? And whenever I see the death energy, the death card, it doesn't freak me out. It really just speaks to this transition moment. And it's kind of like it's kind of like being in limbo. All right. So, what happens when we're closing old doors right before a new window opens or a new door opens for us to step through? We're kind of in this like liminal space, it feels like, or like this limbo space, this like the back rooms or something where, we feel like we don't really know what the next opportunity is. Maybe we haven't seen any signs. Okay. So it's kind of a feeling like that. This message will resonate for you if you have felt a little bit stuck recently. All right. So let's get into it. This is for our divine feminine, divine feminists out there. Let's get into some questions that I've got prepared here for us. So what parts of you are currently being rebuilt in silence? All right. While you're thinking that you're just over here stuck, what parts of you are being rebuilt? Let's find out. The Queen of Wands. First of all, I have to say with the Queen of Wands, it's your passion, it's your creativity, it's your spark, it's your confidence. All of these areas are being silently rebuilt. You're rebuilding this. You're getting your mojo back, getting your inspiration back, getting your motivation back for what? Well, first of all, the Magician, but clearly something else wants to come out with that too. The Magician is, it really is about a new beginning. It's about remembering, realizing who you are, how powerful you are, how magnetic you are, how much of the main character you are. All right. So all of this right now, it's this moment for you to remember your power. Okay. And to remember that you have with your divinely gifted free will, you have the power to basically manifest what it is that you want to see happen in your world, right? The Magician, on any kind of Magician card, a little bit of Tarot 101 if you're interested, or if, for anyone who needs to know, we'll always see all four of the elements, right? The Pentacles, Wands, Swords, the Cups. You have the emotional intelligence, emotional maturity needed to create what it is that you desire. All right. You have the intelligence, you have the wit, you know what you're doing. Okay. You're capable. You have the passion with the wands, the creativity, and you have the resources available to you to basically create what it is that you set your intention on, right? So that's why readers will just instantly jump and say, well, the Magician is the master manifester. But it's a remembering that's happening for you right now. It's a reminder that, yes, indeed, right now what's being worked on in this silence that feels like you're stuck is your confidence in knowing, remembering who you are, remembering your power, remembering your worth, remembering your value, remembering that you have, with your focused intention, you can basically do whatever you put your mind to. All right. So it's really an inspirational kind of moment for you right now. You're not stuck. You're in the cocoon. You're trying to figure it out, maybe, right? You're trying to figure out, well, where do I want my life to go? What is my new focus? What do I want to create for myself? So, yep, there it is, death. Look at that. I can't make this up, right? We were just talking about this. This is a transformation. It is a literal transformation that you're currently going through, right? And so you're absolutely not stuck. You are absolutely in this beautiful moment of kind of like anything is possible, right? When you've already closed the old door, the things that aren't working for you, the ways of living that, no longer align with who you are, who you've grown into, okay? This is a beautiful moment for you. It's almost like a blank slate. So right now, silently, you aren't stuck. You are literally reclaiming your power at this moment, all right? And remembering who you are and what you came to do, maybe even, right? And as soon as you point that focus, you point your wand in the direction of where you want to see things grow or what you want to see happen in your world, that is when you will start to see some of the energy moving in that direction with that focused intention. Okay. So this is really, really beautiful energy. Okay. What outdated identity are you shedding like yesterday's snakeskin? Because clearly that is what's happening here. And I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. I see 555 on the timer at the moment, and fives are all about change. So what outdated identity are you shedding like yesterday's snakeskin? First of all, the Ten of Wands speaks to willingly, I have to say it, even though we don't always want to acknowledge this to be the truth, willingly carrying more than we have to, right? Sometimes we can say, oh, the Ten of Wands, that's being stressed. It's having too much on your plate. It's being overwhelmed. It's feeling like you have way too many responsibilities. You're wearing too many hats. You got too much stuff going on. And I feel like it's just you out here doing the most for everyone else. And perhaps feeling all the weight of that pressure, building up. But you got to think to yourself for a moment. This is what that part of you, like we stated, that you are leaving behind. You're no longer identifying as the primary, let's say, caregiver, or the fixer, the person who comes in and takes care of everything for everyone else. That part of you is the part that you're shedding. You're closing the door. And it's not that you don't want to sit here helping people. You're not turning into somebody who no longer cares, or you're like, you still are a very loving person and you're a helpful person. Maybe you love being in service of others. Maybe that makes you feel good. It's not that you're saying, okay, I'm no longer helping anyone anymore. I'm only helping myself. But what you're doing is shifting your priorities quite radically and putting yourself first rather than perhaps putting yourself last in order to care for everyone else. And I mean, this could be at home, within the family, within relationships. It can be at the workplace or at school or wherever you are, right? Wherever you are, you could be somebody maybe that's people pleasing, right? And maybe you had a hard time saying no to people when they ask for your help because genuinely you want to help people. That's part of who you are. You've got a wonderful, beautiful heart. So, but it's almost become too much for your own. It's it's to your own detriment. You've been helping folks to your own detriment, where maybe you don't really have the time, or maybe you don't really have the money, or maybe you don't really have the energy or the capacity, or you just, let's just say your friend, a friend or an acquaintance says, hey, I really need your help, can you help me move this Sunday? And you're like, sure. And then normally in the past you would have said sure because you didn't really want to let this person down. Of course you want to help them, but really you've got 17,000 things for you to do yourself that day. Or maybe that's your one day off that you were supposed to rest and allow yourself to care for yourself. Like, the sacrificing has become too much. So that part of you is the identity that you're currently shedding right now. Okay. And yeah, that's why I said it's something that we willingly carry. We we allow ourselves to take on a lot more than what we really ought to handle. So you have been maybe working on establishing very firm boundaries in your world, saying no to people, and doing so in a kind way, but doing so just out of respecting your own time, space, energy, money, whatever the case, right? Mental health, physical health, emotional health, all of these things. You are centering your own needs first. So that's the part of you that you are shedding. Like, I'm no longer sacrificing myself in order to please someone else or in order to care for someone else. And again, it's not in a way where it makes you, oh, somebody that, you can't be counted on, or no one can ask you for a favor anymore. It's not that. It's just you were doing too much. You were just doing too much for too much, and you don't need to be doing that much. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So that's, you're shedding that part of yourself, right? You're shedding that part of yourself. And in doing so, you are creating more space for you to focus on what it is that you really desire. Okay. Now, my next question is, what divine glow up is waiting for you once you emerge from this cocoon phase, right? Seven of Wands. See, now this is kind of just talking about what we just spoke to. So I'm going to shuffle again. All right, I'm going to shuffle again. But this is you really standing up for what you feel is right, your own truth, setting boundaries, defending your time, skills, energy, all of those things, right? So you're really in this moment. It's almost like you're practicing and getting ready, because there's something here that is going to manifest for you. Something here is waiting for you, part of your glow up, that you're going to need all of your own energy and time and resources in order to help grow on your own personal glow up journey. So I'm actually just going to pause, take a drink of water, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so Spirit, what divine glow up is waiting for us once we emerge from this cocoon phase? For all my lovely divine feminist besties out here, what is the divine glow up waiting? Look at that, Justice. Wow, very powerful energy. Wow, Justice and the Seven of Pentacles, and then underneath that as well, we have the Ten of Cups here. And then here's our divine feminine, divine feminist popping up, just to kind of let you know that your glow up is real. It's waiting for you on the other side. So again, you're not stuck. You're just in this cocoon phase, right? And it's a process of change. So you're about to enter into your soft era with the Empress showing up here, your abundant era, an era where you don't have to do the most to get the rewards. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I've got like this weird dry mouth thing happening on right now. Sorry, guys. Okay, but anyway, back to the message with Justice, Seven of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. There is something that maybe you have been waiting on for a very long time. Maybe it's something that you've previously invested time, energy, effort. Maybe you've already started building something, and it really wasn't going off. It felt like it really wasn't gaining much momentum, and you may have put it on the back burner. Yeah, so you may have put it on the back burner. You may have stated, okay, well, maybe I'll come back to this later because it just doesn't feel like the time is right. Or maybe you ended up being preoccupied working on other people's goals, other people's projects, worrying about what other people are doing, or taking care of others in your world. Again, whether that's family, relationships, at work. This project, this goal, this dream got put on the back burner. Or maybe it was like you couldn't find investors, or you didn't have enough money. Again, it was something like waiting for the right resources or waiting for things to fall in line. It could have been a situation where it felt like it was highly unfair, that you had to maybe stop doing this, or something happened that threw you off. Okay, and it would have been something with Justice here that was unfair. It could have been having to deal with something like a legal proceeding or something like that. Maybe there was a contract or something. I mean, for some of you, maybe you friggin' got sued or something, or had to stop, or got a cease and desist about, something that you were trying to build, I mean, it can go a lot of different ways here. But this is the project, this is the goal, whatever that was, where you had to kind of put on the back burner. And that's going to be personal. You're going to know what this is already. That is the thing that's coming back around. This is what's waiting for you on the other side of the glow up. This is what's going to be set right. When we see Justice, this is what's going to be set right, whatever it was. Now, I'm getting, for some of you, it could have been a personal project or something you were trying to create, whether that, like, I'm just going to use something really easy and relatable. Like maybe it was like a book you were trying to write. and then you didn't have time because other people needed you to do other things, and you kept saying yes, and then you maybe fell out of or maybe you ran out of money, or maybe you ran out of time, or maybe you ran out of ideas. Like, and it just felt like, oh man, I was on such a roll, like, I couldn't get back to it. I was highly distracted again. So that's the kind of situation now. And now you're finally having the time, the space, the energy, the resources to get back on track with that goal. Okay, so for one of you or two of you, it could have been like a book idea or something, but it could have been a business or a project, relationship, anything, right? But with the 10 of Cups here, this is telling me that you are going to see your dream actually start to take shape once again. Like, you're going to start to see movement in the direction of the goal. The thing that you put on the back burner is going to start to move again, and it's going to feel you're going to feel extremely excited about it. Okay, with the 10 of Cups, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like a dream. This is what I've wanted. I can't believe this is happening now, But it is because of, let's go back to the beginning, some of that focused intention, some of that confidence that you're regaining, getting your mojo back, all of that stuff. So this time around, when you come back to this, it's going to feel like when we talked about you being in your kind of like soft era, where it's going to feel like things are actually going very easy for you. Okay. So it's going to fall into place very quickly, very easily. And it's going to feel like the universe has your back, like spirit's on your side, and like there's a ton of wind in your sails for this glow up. So I'm 100% here for this transition. And I have to put our Empress right here, okay? I do, because when the Empress comes up, it's like, all right, this is a channel that is devoted to the Empress energy, the abundance, the joy, the creation, the life-giving vibes, right? The encouragement. That's who you are embodied right now in your whole energy, if you are finding this channel, if you're resonating with these messages. Now, a quick nod to the 8 of Wands. You are going to be quite busy, right? You are going to be quite busy, and things are going to go quite quickly, all right? So as you might be feeling stuck right now, but I promise you, as soon as the energy shifts, as soon as you regain that strength, that power, that knowing, or put your focus on track, boom, that's when you're going to start seeing some radical shifts and changes, and the glow up begins, okay? And the glow up begins for you. Let me know in the comments if you're already kind of in the glow up era, because everyone's on a little bit of a different timeline here. Okay, so my next question is, what is Spirit asking you to fully surrender during this transformation? What is Spirit asking you to fully surrender during this transformation? What is it? Page of Swords. Oh, the Sun and the Emperor. Interesting. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords underneath the deck. Now, this combination, when I see Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, this is someone who is really getting tough with themselves and with others, and not in a bad way. Again, it's like, come correct, don't come at all. It's, I've got boundaries. I'm going to do what's right for me first, and everyone else comes second. I'm going to speak my truth. If people don't, like, again, if you don't come correct, heads are going to roll, that kind of an energy. I'm going to be living in my most fierce state of, like, energetic state, where it's like radical self-love. And if folks don't respect you, or if people don't treat you properly, then, I mean, they get cut is what they do. They get, okay, you are living your truth and in your authenticity, okay, 100%, whether people like it or not. You don't really care. You're part of that we do not care club, perhaps, which I am a proud card carrying member. So what is Spirit asking you to surrender during the transformation? It is kind of interesting, especially for those of you who at one point were really focused or resonating with being on a twin flame journey. And it doesn't mean that you're still not, or you can't resonate with being on a journey anymore with your twin. That's fine. This is about you, but what you are being asked to fully surrender, to fully release during the transformation, is the wondering, the waiting, and the focus on the masculine. Okay, so also I'm going to interpret it in a different way, but I have to give a nod to this energy here of what we're being asked to surrender. Any kind of communication, spying, trying to find out what's going on. You might start to get some communication coming through from your masculine, things like that. It could feel like there's been growth, happiness, Spirit's asking you in particular to stay true to who you are, to not be tempted by anything to do with the masculine. I'm not saying like don't, talk to them or anything like that, but just make sure you are completely still embodying your own authenticity, your truth, and not sacrificing yourself or your time or your energy or your focus onto the masculine at all, because this era is your era. This is your glow up era. This is your time to shine. Now, there is another message. What are you being forced to surrender? Forced to surrender whether or not there is going to be any kind of union or happily ever after or anything like that. All of that stuff, right? You're being asked to surrender during the transformation that's taking place in you right now. But for some of you, I'm getting that that's not going to be too hard. I feel like you're already kind of at that point where you have completely surrendered that need or desire to be in union with your masculine or a masculine in particular. Okay, now again, there is another message here and I want to talk about that. It is, we don't need to know the details of how this is going to work out. And so Spirit's asking you to surrender the how and just to go with the flow and allow the growth, the light, the glow up, allow yourself to relinquish control over how it plays out, okay? How your dream come true, how the detail, releasing the details and just knowing and believing that you have what it takes, okay? And to continuously take those action steps every day to go ahead and work with the universe, okay, to co-create what it is that you want to see through your focus intention, and of course some action steps that you need to take in the real world towards that goal. It is not one-sided. The universe isn't just going to drop something in your lap. You've got to meet the universe halfway when you are trying to create something new in your life. Okay, so what you're needing to surrender right now is that control. It's like relinquishing control. How is it going to play out? When is it going to play out? How is it all going to work? Am I ever going to get whatever, right? Like, am I ever going to get the union, or am I ever going to get the person of my dreams, maybe even with this energy, right? So just know that what it is that you desire is going to come into fruition. Okay, so you are relinquishing some of that control in order to surrender during this transformation process, and you are being asked to keep your laser focus on yourself, your journey, your glow up, your path, and your transformation at this time. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I keep having to pause this. I don't know if you even noticed, but I'm drinking so much water here. It's actually a really hot day. So a really hot day. I'm drinking so much water. Anyways, yeah. Let me know what the weather's like wherever you are and where you are. I want to know where you are watching. Anyway, who or what is no longer allowed in your life post metamorphosis, okay? After this transition has occurred completely. So who or what is no longer allowed in your life post metamorphosis, after things start going again? Four of Pentacles. Folks who hold... Okay, this is actually pretty good. Okay, so if there's a specific person you'll have in mind, that's cool, then you'll know for sure. But I'm going to tell you in general, it will be people that hold on to the past. People that hold on, people who are too afraid to shift and change themselves, people who hold on to outdated ways of thinking, behaving, out of fear for losing, any kind of like stability that they have in their life. Now, that doesn't sound, on the surface, it doesn't sound like a bad thing, because sometimes, Obviously people don't want to lose their stability when it comes to like, their home or their job or things like that. But there is a certain like subtext to this energy, is that people who hold on to doing the same things over and over again, they're doing the same things that they've always done. They won't really change. They're not interested in shifting. They're not interested in changing, because whatever they're doing, they feel like it's working for them, but they're not growing. They're not getting anywhere. They're not moving. They're not changing. The energy becomes really stuck. Okay. You are not in stuck energy. It might feel that way, right? It might feel that way, but you're not, because you are actively growing, shifting, changing, continuously working on yourself, your glow up. You've got goals, you've got dreams. You're not staying stuck in one spot. The people who will not be allowed in your life anymore are the people who are unwilling to let go, to surrender, to go with the flow, to grow, to learn, to change, to adapt, to evolve, right? So those types of individuals will naturally start fading away from your life, and they will not be able to access you, your energy, or your glow up once this transformation is 100% complete. Also, people who are trying to hold on to you and the past version of you. Okay. That's going to be very important, because people don't like when you are growing and changing. And I know it's such an awful thing to know this and to know it to be true. But when you are shifting and growing, there are certain people who refuse to do it themselves. You act like a mirror to them. And the fact that you are changing, growing, you're not the same. They want you to stay the same, because if you are changing and growing, then that means that it's shining a bright light on the fact that they refuse to do so. And so it makes them feel crappy about themselves, right? And they don't want you to change, because they don't want to feel crappy about themselves for not changing, or for being too scared, or whatever their blockage is. These types of people will put up blocks to you and your progress, and those are the people who will not be allowed to come along with you on your glow up journey. Okay. And that is just what it is. So those people will not be allowed in your life anymore, especially if the people sometimes will say in a negative way, like, "Ugh, you've changed. Oh, you've changed." And I've even heard it too, being a reader here on YouTube. Have I changed? I'm going into, my 4th year of doing readings on YouTube. Of course I've changed. Of course I've grown. It's not a bad thing. That's what we're here to do. Life is a school. We're supposed to learn the lessons and keep going. We're not supposed to remain stuck and on the same things, doing the same things all the time. That's just not how life is meant to work. And so to me, it's not an insult when people say, "Oh, you've changed," even if they mean it to be an insult. I say thank you. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So those people aren't going to be allowed to come with you. They're just not. And it is what it is. It's unfortunate. But some of those folks it's kind of like, there's a creator here, and she's pretty great. She does like a lot of channeled messages. She's actually like a preacher or something. I'm not religious, but I really love the way she delivers messages. Latoya Okia, and she's on YouTube here and other platforms, but she always says, "Forget them folks." And I'm like, that's what I think about, when these people, forget them folks. They're not going anywhere. They're over here doing the same things they always did, and they always have, and they always will, right? So you go ahead and you keep changing and keep growing, because you're doing what you're supposed to do. So good for you. All right. So what signs will confirm that you're about to break through and take flight? Let's end with that. What signs are here to confirm, please, Spirit? Knight of Cups. You're going to start to get a lot more offers coming in. The energy will start shifting and moving. You'll start to see things differently. You'll start to gain clarity. 3 of Swords. Hold on. 9 of Cups. You will be free. The sign that you're looking for. Okay, you will wake up. It's almost like, 6 of Swords. It's almost like one day you're going to wake up and you're just no longer going to be focused on pain from the past. Now, I know it sounds crazy, and maybe some of you are already there, but there is going to be a day where you just kind of wake up and you're like, you know what? I've done all the crying I can do. I've done all the, I'm done living in the past. I'm done going over the heartache, the sadness, the things that are going wrong in my life or have gone wrong in my life. You are just going to wake up with a completely shifted perspective, right? Where you no longer care if somebody apologizes for what they did to hurt you. Da, 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 da. You just don't care. You just don't care. You become part of the We Do Not Care Club. You wake up one day and you're just like, wow, I can't believe I cared so much before, but now I just don't care. I just don't care. And that lighthearted energy, that releasing that you're doing, that you're going through this process of shedding this old, way of showing up in relationships with family, at work, whatever it is, where you were like taking on because you didn't want to let anyone down, or taking on other people's problems or stress, or too much, worrying, doing the most for other people. You just kind of wake up one day and you're just like, wow, I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care. Let the chips fall where they fall. I don't care, but I'm moving forward. I'm moving on. I've learned my lesson. So it's kind of like one day you wake up and you get this clarity and you're like, you know what? I need to have fun. Or you know what? I feel good. I don't really need to have, this person's approval or that person's da da da. It's like one day it just clicks and you start seeing things from a new perspective. You start seeing and experiencing joy in your life again. So these are the signs, this is the sign that you're about to break through and take flight, right? So when that moment comes, I would say that is a joyous day. I would say that's a day to celebrate. I would say, the day where you wake up and you're just like, wow, I've changed. I'm different. I don't care. And I don't care. I don't care who likes it, who doesn't. You know what I mean? There's something very powerful in that shift in perspective. And it's a slow going process. If it hasn't hit for you that way yet, where for some of you, maybe the majority of you already here in this tribe with us on the Divine Feminist channel, it may have already hit for you. But for those of you who are kind of like teetering on the edge, especially if you're on watching both sets of readings, because again, I am still providing readings, albeit a lot fewer than I did in the past, on what the other person is thinking, what the other person is doing, or what your soulmate or twin flame is up to. Those readings, I'm still doing those for the folks who need them. But for you, you might be on the fence. You might be still kind of in the middle, right? And that's okay, because right now, maybe you were feeling stuck. Maybe you're still feeling stuck on something from the past, right? You're in the cocoon mode. You are in the process of shifting and changing. You are not stuck. You are growing. You are regaining your confidence, your focus. You're going through this process of transformation right now, and it's powerful. So there will be the sign that you need to look for, that you have kind of gotten through and you're ready to take off, is that you wake up this one beautiful, one fine day and you're like, you know what? I just don't care. I want to feel good today. And I'm going to focus on the things that make me happy, on the things I can control, or the things that I can do. I'm tired of living in the heartache and the sadness, ruminating about the past. I'm over it, And it's a process, and we don't want to give ourselves we don't want to throw shade at ourselves for how long it took us to get to this point. It doesn't matter. It's over. Who cares? We're here now, and we're moving forward, okay? Lesson learned. Lesson learned. We're moving forward. And I'm loving it, okay? So just know that you are not stuck right now. You are absolutely not stuck. And I am here for it. I'm going to end this reading with a self-love oracle and an affirmation. And I'm going to get it out to you, awesome Divine Feminists, right away. It's amazing. I love it. What do we have here? Know you are safe. Know you are safe. All right. Protection is always available to you. You have all the resources that you need, both within you and around you. You are safe during this transformation, okay? I want you to know that. Now let's get an affirmation, and then I'll get this reading out to you as soon as possible. Yep, 2 of them for you. Okay, that's fine. Look at this one. It's so great. I open new doors to life. That's what you're doing. I rejoice in what I have, and I know that fresh new experiences are always ahead. I greet the new with open arms. I trust life to be wonderful. That's amazing. Oh, there was more. Okay, let's do this. Everything I touch is a success. I now establish a new awareness of success. I know I can be as successful as I make up my mind to be. I move into the winning circle. Golden opportunities are everywhere for me. Prosperity of every kind is drawn to me. Oh, I love that. I trust my inner wisdom. As I go about my daily affairs, I listen to my own guidance. My intuition is always on my side. I trust it to be there at all times. I am safe. Oh, I love it. Safe, protected. It's all come full circle. Congratulations, y'all. You aren't stuck, okay? You're just in a cocoon. And it's a little cozy, but one day you're going to break out of it and you're going to fly away. And it's going to be such a beautiful glow up to see. So good for you. Take care and stay blessed, y'all. Bye.